Moving on now to the NFC North, which I'm just going to put this out there right now, the best division in the NFL. For years, it was the AFC North. I think my division, my Pittsburgh Steelers division, the AFC North, has fallen to number 2. Let's go to last place in the NFC North. Last place, I think, is going to at least win 6 games in the Minnesota Vikings, that's going 6-11. So regardless if J.J. McCarthy was healthy or not, this is about where I had them. I really like a lot of pieces on this Minnesota team. We know who Justin Jefferson is. I think he's the best receiver in the sport. Jordan Addison has been, hasn't been the most mature guy in the world off the field, but on the field, he had a really, really productive rookie season. TJ Hawkinson, when healthy, is one of the better tight ends, top 10 tight end in the NFL. They did add Aaron Jones for the Green Bay Packers for what that's worth. Listen, as I said, running backs don't get better as they get older, but Aaron Jones is better than what they had last year and Alexander Mattison. And then defensively, listen, Brian Flores has done a really good job at that defense. I like some of their draft picks, as you'll see a little bit later in one of my award predictions. But listen, there's still way too much limitation. And Kevin O'Connell, by the way, is a great, great coach. There's just too much limitations at the quarterback position. With Sam Darnold, even if it were J.J. McCarthy, I don't really buy McCarthy. The Vikings are going to be in a weird spot the next couple of years as the NFC gets better, as their roster gets better. I think the quarterback position got worse, obviously losing Kirk Cousins this offseason. So the Vikings will be a 6-win team. At number 3, and a playoff team, the Chicago Bears. So yes, the NFC North will have not 1, not 2, but 3 teams make the playoffs this year. The Chicago Bears, the Bears, will go 10-7 and come in 3rd place in the NFC North. So this is a team that won 7 games, 7, 8 games a year ago. They upgrade drastically at the quarterback position, going from Justin Fields, who's a cool highlight reel, and that's pretty much where it ends, to Caleb Williams, who's, I don't know, one of the greatest quarterback prospects in the history of the National Football League. Awesome arm, awesome mobility, awesome accuracy, durability's there, maturity's there, leadership is there, everything you could possibly want in a prospect, Caleb Williams has. And he's got weapons. So DJ Moore, who got the bag, congrats to him, was already there and already really good. But then they had Keenan Allen in free agency. And then they draft Rome Odunze out of Washington, who I loved when he was in college with Michael Penix Jr. And then what do? They added DeAndre Swift to their running game. They've upgraded their O-line, still could use some pieces. I think that's, again, similar to the Cowboys in a way, minus the really good wide receivers. The offensive line will kind of hurt them in some games. Caleb can escape and make plays, but there's only so much he can do in that regard. Chicago's offensive line needs some help, but it will continuously get better. And defensively, again, Matt Eberflus, I still do kind of have questions about, but the Bears defense is really good. Jalen Johnson, Montez Sweat, they got some really, really elite players on that side of the ball. Listen, the division's crowded. It's really, really talented, but I think the Bears are good enough. Has any team gotten so as much, maybe the Falcons have, but gotten better to the degree that the Bears have this offseason? I'm not sure there has been, and they were a sneaky potential playoff team last year. I think they're clearly a playoff team this year, double-digit wins, and they're the 3rd place team in the NFC North. Going to number 2, because the debate, a lot of folks, do the Packers win the division? Do the Lions win the division? I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to go 11-6. Of course, they make the playoffs as well. No quarterback, with the possible exceptions of Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford, played better over the second half of the season as Jordan Love did. If you look at from week 11 on, it was like from week 11 to their playoff loss to the Niners in the divisional round, it was like 23 touchdowns, 3 picks, passer rating in the 110s. I mean, he was great after I was highly skeptical. I think the Packers I didn't think they were going to be very good at all a year ago at this time, and I was very skeptical of Jordan Love, particularly at the halfway point of the season. He really showed me a lot. He showed me his arm strength. His command in the pocket got so much better over the course of the season, and that's a credit to him. It's a credit to Matt LaFleur. And that skill position group in Green Bay is low-key scary. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, they got some dudes at wide receiver. And again, Aaron Jones gone. A.J. Dillon, unfortunately, knock on wood for him, out for the season. So what do? Well, they didn't know Dillon was going to be gone, but they signed Josh Jacobs, who's still a very productive running back in this league, in free agency. They draft Marshawn Lloyd out of USC, who was really, really good with the Trojans. So the running game's still there. The O-line isn't as good as it was for, the majority of the Aaron Rodgers tenure. That's going to be up to the Packers to, grow and develop, and I think they will. Defensively, I have concerns, and that's kind of what what held me back from picking the Packers to win the NFC North. But offensively, I think they're one of the 5 most talented teams in the NFL on that side of the ball. And that's what will put the Packers to continuously improve from last season and get into the NFL postseason. And of course, that leaves number 1, a team that I believed in before anybody else did. April of 2023, I picked the Detroit Lions to win the NFC North and to go to the NFC Championship game, which they did both. Why in the heck, ladies and gentlemen, why would I not believe in Detroit? Why would I not believe in a team that is continuously, year by year by year, just gotten better and better and better, improved more and more? As Dan Campbell once said in that press conference, of course, with a little Oprah Winfrey magic here.
Kneecap.
And that's their brand of football, particularly on their offensive line, which I think is the best unit in the National Football League in that, in terms of O-lines. Penei Sewell's great. Decker's great. They got so many great offensive linemen in Detroit to keep the pocket clean for a Jared Goff, who does need a clean pocket in order to be successful. But when that pocket is clean, he's one of the most productive quarterbacks in the league. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the most underrated receiver in the sport. Sam Laporta, I think by season's end, this is a kind of a bold prediction here. By season's end, Sam Laporta will be viewed as the second best tight end in the NFL, but in reality, he'll be the best. I think Sam Laporta is going to be better than Travis Kelce. I think he's going to be better than George Kittle. Throw out any tight end, Mark Andrews. This kid's it. This kid is legit right now for the Detroit Lions. I love what he did last year. Jahmyr Gibbs, we know what he brings to the table. And defensively, which is kind of the Achilles heel for the Lions, I think they got better. Terrion Arnold, I believe is the kid's name, they drafted as the corner. Love that pick. Listen, we know the Detroit Lions front office. Brad Holmes, one of the best general managers in the league. Ben Johnson coming back this year to continue to be the offensive coordinator of this team was gigantic for this squad. I thought they could potentially pull back after that loss to San Francisco in the playoffs. Keeping Ben Johnson was huge for this team. So that's what I got in the NFC North. So I got 3 playoff teams. 3 playoff teams. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.